Brian, you want to introduce the...
Sure. The final topic is the looking at the Capital Development Board's Lakeshore Capital Expansion Project, and we've invited our colleagues from Legat to come in and provide an overview of that project. And we'll try to get that presentation up here.
So this is an update on the Waukegan campus?
Correct. And the nice part about this particular point is now that the board's authorized us to restart the project, and now that we're kind of getting ourselves back in the ground, this is a good chance to update the board where we're at. And I know our colleagues are going to, Joe will be leading us off, right?
It was...
Good evening, everyone. I would like to start by saying how delighted we all are from Legat Architects to be here this evening, presenting the final design on the Lakeshore expansion project. Think of it, how many years that's been. I would also like to, again, on behalf of myself and those present here tonight, and the entire Legat organization, thank you for the honor of this commission. I'm going to dispense with the individual introductions of everyone who's going to be presenting tonight, and with the exception of Ted, our chief designer. I should say that Ted has got a master's degree from the University of Illinois, but in addition to that, he is on the bronze tablet, which means that he has straight A's for 6 years of college, no matter what he was taking, whether it was calculus or art or sculpture or PE. So he's an exceptional person. And how about that? Ted, you want to spin? So in addition to that, I should say that the University of Illinois at one time was the most prestigious architectural school in the United States, probably in the world. So being on the bronze tablet at that organization is really saying something. We could present many of Ted's buildings. I'm only going to identify one of them, which is the Tinley Park Railroad Station. Now, we should have a slide of that, but we're not going to get into that. All I want to do is compare that with some of the buildings that you may be familiar with. And in my opinion, that building is comparable to such buildings as the Sydney Opera House, the Pompidou Center in Paris, some of Frank Lloyd Wright's buildings such as the Guggenheim, Falling Waters, or the Johnson Wax building. So with that, I'm going to let Jeff take over for the rest of this presentation, and we can look forward to Ted presenting the design, which is what we're really all here to see. So.
Thank you, Joe. And Jeff is partner with the firm?
Project principal. Thanks, Joe. Before I get started with just a brief overview of the schedule, the budget, and the program, I also want to introduce some people who are not going to be speaking today. And one is Scott Parker, who's our lead architect for the Science Building. You may remember Scott. And then next to him is Bruce Locke from the Illinois Capital Development Board.
You brought Bruce here too, huh?
It's good to see Bruce.
There you are. Heavy hitter.
Okay, so just looking back on the history of this project, the board approved the ramp report to go to the ICCD back in 2006, but it wasn't until 7 years later that funds actually got released by the state, and then a month later in September of 2013, you all remember Governor Quinn came to the Lakeshore campus, and there was a ceremony to get the project started, which we did. We started programming in September of 2013, and moving along through schematic design, and schematic design was approved by the Capital Development Board in February of 2015. After having been approved by the City of Waukegan, going through quite an approval process with the City of Waukegan in that previous month in January of 2015. And then we all know what happened in June of 2015. That's when we had the state budget impasse. And the project has been on hold for since that time until recently, and this past September, when the board approved an intergovernmental agreement with the CDB to restart the program. And so we had a kickoff were reauthorized by the CDB in November. And so now, looking forward, we had a kickoff meeting just this past December with the college staff and the CDB, and recognizing that in a year and a half, some things may have changed. Some people have changed, and so as we look forward, the schedule accommodates the next few months until April of 2017 of actually just confirming the program that was approved back in February, the schematic design that was approved back in February of 2015. So we are taking a few steps back, to make sure that that maybe some tweaks need to be done, and that we're touching base with all the deans and the administration that have a place in this building. So after April, then we can resume where we left off when we were stopped on the project in June of 2015. And that's the design development phase. The DD phase then will end in September of 2017 when we can begin the construction documents phase, and that's the last phase. Those are the drawings that we do so that the building can be bid and built. And there's two points of departure there, 50% review by the CDB as well as 100%. So that will be complete in May of 2018. And then the bidding phase will happen between May and July of 2018, at which time the construction contracts will be approved by the CDB in October of 2018, and construction can begin. So it's about a 2-year construction period from October 2018 to December of 2018, and then a closeout phase going into the year 2021. So that's the schedule going forward. A quick look at the program. As you know, this project is a blend of new construction, 6-story building, new 6-story building on Sheridan Road, as well as renovations to 33 and 111 North Genesee, your existing buildings. We're going to take you through, as part of the design presentation, what some of the program areas are, but in the new construction, you see about 53,000 square feet, and in the renovated areas, about 8,700 square feet in 33 North Genesee, and about 11,000 square feet in 111 North Genesee. And I should say, as we now are restarting the project, obviously costs have gone up, they've escalated, and so the first thing we're doing in these next few months is we're looking at the costs with our cost estimating consultant, and seeing what that means now with the year and a half, almost 2 years of escalation, because we haven't gotten any new funding for the project. The project funding is the same, and so we need to reassess that and see what may change, and we're thinking that some of the areas that could change are in these renovated areas of 33 North Genesee and 111 North Genesee. Some things have changed already in those two buildings. They've been improved in some of these departments that you see there, and so we're going to put that all into the puzzle as we reassess the budget and get started, try to get back to the point of design development where we were in June of 2015. And then at the bottom of this slide, you also see some alternates. The CDB allows 3 alternates. Alternate 1 is a mix of things, and these are all pretty much in the existing buildings, and so there's a mix of spaces to be renovated there. A total almost $2 million, so $1.988 million there in alternate number 1. This gives us some flexibility for bidding. Alternate number 2 is some renovation in the 111 building for corridors, stairs, and restrooms, so it's common type spaces. And then lastly, we do have site improvement costs, and so we've got about $1 million in there of hardscaping and site furnishing and landscaping that is a little bit more than half of what's budgeted for the site work there that will also be an alternate. But as we look at the construction budget, excuse the numbering on the left, nothing is missing there in terms of content, but you see it skips from 8 to 10 and then from 10 to 13. So, but these are all the line items for the budget there. And the first items 1 through 10 are what we call soft costs, and so they're not hard building construction costs. The hard construction cost, which includes the cost itself, contingencies, and the alternates, are all in that line item 13. So that $38.8 million includes that number that you see down below of 3.6, almost $3.7 million. So that alternate number, which are received, those bids are received separately, are actually within that estimate, that construction estimate. So that gives additional flexibility as well. And there's a 10% contingency in that $38.8 million too. So there's kind of two levels of contingency there for the construction cost. But we still have what's in front of us to actually go through and see how this all fits with a year's worth, a year and a half's worth of escalation. And if you wanted to analyze, so if you take this line item 13, this $38.8 million, and you want to analyze it by the different buildings that are part of this, and as well as the site work, this is how that kind of breaks down. You know, and you can see the new building is the biggest one of those items, and that biggest item of the different locations, project locations. But all these are included in the budget. There you see a line item there for a connection to the garage, which the college now owns since 2015, and all the other line items for the different locations. So it's a complex project and quite a blend of new construction and renovation. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ted to walk us through the design.